Hey, HR friends, welcome back. So, we're going to talk about the 4-2 emotional 6.5 day sequence, and we're going to do a general overview. Now, in each season of time, so in spring, summer, fall, and winter, there are 14 emotional sets before a new season will start. And we're in the 14th set, the summer season. What does that mean? So, this is the last emotional sequence we're going to have before we transition into the fall and spring equinox, depending on which hemisphere you're in. Now, the exchange, when we finish this week out and we go into a new plutonic awareness, that's going to be noticeable, okay? And this week in itself is going to be noticeable. So let's just do a quick review here about polarity moments. So, when we broke the mathematics or the repeating pattern that makes our sentient space-time existence possible, it creates this electromagnetic sequence. And it creates a sequence at the first person level, the third person level, and then we combine them so you can see what happens when we add those two things together. Now, first person, it's just the stress that you deal with the people that you see on a day-to-day basis, your family members, your coworkers, your community members. Right now, third person stress, that's how you want to see the big picture play out. And every individual is designed to see the big picture play out a little differently. And it's just how we get frustrated if things don't go the way that we would like them to. And then we add these two together and we make it combined. Why? Because stress is messy. So we really want you to know when this pattern is going to elevate, because when this pattern gets to a number 4 or above, it becomes very difficult to stay calm. Okay. Now, does that mean if it's at a 1 or a 2 that it's easy? No, it's always challenging. We are being challenged 24/7, and our defensive design is trying to trick us into doing one of two things: run away and ignore our problems, or stand up and fight for our problems in hurtful ways, ways that make more stress. Now, you don't want your defensive design to manipulate your choices, because what it does is this: it's accelerating the aging that you experience, and it's creating future states of disease, because all of that accumulated stress that you're being manipulated to make is actually hurting you and the people around you. So understanding these patterns are super, super important, because when you see it elevate, for example, you can say, hey, I'm not going to get frustrated and argue with my family members or coworkers during this sequence in time here. Or you can see that we've got a couple days that we start out here in this new sequence where third person agitation is really going to be up. So as an individual, you can tell yourself, I'm not going to overinvest in how I want to see the world work. I'm not going to let that stress me out. I still want to care and make things better, but not to the point where I'm going to get upset with this. Okay. So that's a good way to understand what these graphs are. And these graphs that we start out with are really the most important, because here's the thing: if you can overcome your defensive design, that's the first step in actually healing your body. You see, this pattern is what creates aging and creates disease. If you can overcome this pattern, what that means is you can slow aging. And if you understand the objective, you can use your time and energy to reverse states of disease. That's why we do these overviews. We really want you to understand what this is. So now that you've got an idea of what's coming here, this is going to be on a level from 10 would be the hardest week and 1 would be the easiest week. This is going to be like in that 6 range, okay? And the reason this week is going to be a little bit more difficult is, well, it starts out with these rollers, and then we get a little chop, and then the rollers come right back in again at the end. And you can see that we're going to stay at that level 4 for a pretty good portion of this time, and above a level 4 for some of the time as well as we're going to be changing into a new season of time. Now, let's get down here and we're going to look at the overall testing sequence. So each 6.5 day emotional testing sequence is going to have a different pattern. Now, these are the frequencies that make our existence possible. Everything is connected to these frequencies. And what we've done is we've shown how these frequencies are connected to your individual body. So this is how simple it is. You overcome your defensive design. That's what we were talking about up there. Now, if your defensive design is manipulating you, this is what it does. It convinces you that you don't have to get along with certain people that we exist with. You see, we're nothing but a bunch of interconnected families. And we're supposed to get along with every family member, no matter where they live on this interconnected earth. Okay. So if you've convinced yourself that there's somebody that you don't have to get along with, well, that's your defensive design. It's been manipulating you now. Why is it important not to be manipulated and to get along with everybody? Well, whatever teammates that you have the hardest time getting along with, whether they're masculine or feminine, whether they're more mature or less mature, whichever one of those perspectives you have problems with, well, these governing frequencies, they're trying to teach you. So if your relationships are defensive and unbalanced and they're not positive and cooperative, then as time goes forward, you're going to take damage. And this is showing the testing sequence that's showing you which relationships are important in this 4-2 awareness. So every awareness has its own unique combination. In this one, look at it. You can see it right here. Left lower quadrant is really going to get tested hard. Why am I saying that? So number 4 is what we look at here, okay? If it's above a 4, that's a lot of frequencies testing a quadrant. If it's below a 4, not so much. And you can see that left upper below a 4. You can see that right upper below a 4. And you can see that the right lower is below a 4. However, the next 6.5 days, left lower quadrant is at a 4 or above a 4 this entire sequence. So this is important to understand. If you happen to have a lot of left low back pain or left hip pain or knee issues or ankle issues or any musculoskeletal problems going on in that left lower quadrant, or your digestion acts up, or you happen to get sick for this week with digestive issues, this would be telling you that you really need to start to work on how you get along with younger females specifically, but also younger teammates. If you see colors down here, orange and red, they go together. You can't separate them. Now, this is a little bit more dominant towards the feminine side, but in truth, this is what you have to do in relationship. It doesn't matter if they're old, young, male, or female. You have to be able to communicate, coordinate, help them alleviate their stress, and most importantly, you have to talk about objective. You see, that's the other half of staying healthy here. If you want to stay healthy, you actually have to invest your time in a routine that's going to leave this world a better place for every future family, not just your family, not just the people in your nation, not just the people in your community, every family, every nation, everywhere. Now, the more you're doing that, then the more you're going to be in balance with these frequencies. If you're doing a pretty good job of helping your family and the individuals in your family, but you're not thinking about the world in the national perspective, and you're not doing that on a day-to-day basis, and the way you invest down here is actually causing conflict up here, then you're going to take damage in these upper quadrants of your body. That's just how this works. These frequencies aren't asking. They're trying to teach us biofeedback. If you get negative biofeedback, it's telling you better change your actions or you're going to continue to get negative biofeedback. Now, we are showing you what to do in order to get positive biofeedback. If you commit to your team and you balance your routine, these governing frequencies won't speed your aging up and won't cause future states of disease. If you're in balance with them, harmony with them, they can actually strengthen your body's ability to stay healthy, not age as fast, and reverse disease. All right. That's pretty exciting stuff. Now, so on this overview, the big thing to really notice here is going to be left lower quadrant testing. I'm sorry, it's going to be a tough week. There's no doubt about it. People are definitely going to be experiencing left lower quadrant just because this is going to be tested so hard. In fact, this is a great confirmation week. If you wanted to be certain that you were in a sentient space-time construct and your choices matter, you're about to find out because a lot of people are going to be dealing with left lower quadrant stuff. All right, so let's keep moving here. So when we get down to these graphs, what these are the 24-hour forecasts that we're going to go over. So we're going to have 7 different forecasts that will have these electromagnetics brought in at a magnified level, and we synchronize this with time so you can see exactly what times these peaks are going to happen. We also talk about alignments, and we try to simplify this and really break this down in a way that empowers you to know where you're going to hurt if you're out of balance. That's what we're trying to do here, is help you confirm. That's why we do these 6.5 day general overviews. All right, that's enough for this general overview, and we'll see you in the day one 24-hour post. See you then.